you can now ask me that, hey, is Claude.md just enough for the entire agent to perform an action? Well, that's not the case because that's where something super specialized like a skill.md file comes in. So, as Hamza had rightly pointed out in the start of the session, these are markdown files or basically like instructional files that lets your Claude Code agent completely understand what action it has to perform. So, in our case, this entire beautiful deck of these different slides that you see was not just with the help of only Claude.md, because that's more like it's just going to have a definition. But the skill is actually the heart of what generated that entire thing end to end. So, what is a skill? Think of skill as a set of instructions for a repeatable action. So, in my case, the project is, hey, when Aishwarya gets an idea, convert that into a slide deck or use these set of steps. But the repeatable action here is idea, slide deck, idea to slide deck. So basically, every time that I want to run this task, the skill becomes the set of instructions that gets executed for me or the agent to understand what task to perform, and basically it performs the task end to end and comes back to me to say, hey, your task is actually ready. And to do this, the skill.md is once again like a markdown file, like I mentioned. So it's going to have like some set of instructions. But what is very, very important for a skill file, for an agent to understand that this is a skill file, is this component called YAML. I mean, don't worry that it's a complex thing. So YAML is nothing but a human readable script format. And what you exactly see here is the YAML part of a skill, which contains two components. One is what is the name and one is what is the description. So every skill.md file at a Claude Code level contains what the name of the skill is and what does it actually do. And that's what the description says. So whenever an agent has to perform a task and it comes across a skill.md file, it looks for this name and description initially for it to understand that, hey, this is a skill that I'm going to invoke. And the beauty of an agent actually running this task for you with a skill is that unlike Claude.md, which automatically gets invoked by an agent, skill is something that is both ways possible. You can invoke, which means you can tell an AI agent, a Claude Code agent, that you want to use this skill specifically for this task. Or sometimes with the mild context that you give, the Claude Code agent would be able to pick up the skill itself. So let's say, for example, I'm going to define when I have this the product management idea, I'm going to define saying, hey, Claude Code, I have this deck idea. Can you just come up with it? It's automatically going to pick up the skill because I have saved the skill into my Claude Code agent. Or alternatively, I can also say slash front end deck or whatever I name this particular skill as and say, hey, Claude Code, use the skill. And then I'm going to type what the skill name is. And then I'm going to say, then use the skill to go and do this action. Then, so both the ways your agent will be able to understand that, oh, so Aishwarya has given me this task. And I'm going to go read the skill file to know what exactly it does. And then I'm going to go execute and report back to her. So a large and important chunk of a skill.md file, a markdown file, is this YAML introduction part, which is the name and description. So you could ask me, okay, well, it's already giving you the context, right? So what else do you need in a skill file? So the rest of what you see in a skill file is pretty much a natural language prompt. Of course, the prompts that you and I give in Claude each time. Only thing is that this is completely structured to do the task in the right manner. So which means you don't have to give 10 prompts in a random haphazard way and then expect your Claude agent to understand that at every step. Instead, what you do is meticulously combine all of those prompts into a beautiful structured way, which again, Claude agent is going to help you do that. All you have to do is just explain what skill you want to build, and the agent is going to beautifully help you craft even the prompt that it has to execute on. So the rest of what you see.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, I'm just gonna pause here for 1 second. So, guys, if you just imagine, take a step back. When you use ChatGPT, we write prompts. A prompt is just basic an instruction in English. And we basically have to work with our instructions over and over again, or a prompt over and over again to get that to work for us. The thing that we're trying to show you here and explain is that in order for you to use Claude, all you need to do is write instructions in English, and it starts with two text files, which is a format called Markdown files. All we have to do is write an instruction in English. Claude can also generate that for you. But where it starts in terms of hierarchy is that we start with a Claude.md file, which is a description. And if you want to click on the Claude.md file here, which is the description, or like the core of the topic itself, like what we are doing. It's like basically the first time you open up a system and you want to do a readme file, which is explaining on what that entire core project is about. That is what your Claude.md file is. Skill.md file, or the skill file, is focused on your ability to do a certain part. So when Aishwarya started out, she made a Claude.md file which explained what her project is all about. Skill is, think of it as, strong tools, which allows you to give you the superpower to do something. And instead of having you to write, so usually what you have to do, you go to ChatGPT and you write a very long prompt and you say, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, I want you to do this. All of this is an instruction manual that has been designed. And in order to get started, you have a lot of instructions. Like, you can download them, you can have them available to you, you can see them at different places, or you can ask Claude to help you write one. So this is literally an instruction manual. And Francis, thank you for saying this. You said instruction manual.
Yes.
You tell Claude, read this, and I want you to build me something on this particular topic just using these instructions. So the
Yeah.
power is, previously as engineers, we had to design an entire agent from scratch, to design the harness, the workflow, and all the different pieces that were part of that. This over here is literally just instructions in English, and all we are saying is, hey, can you use this? So if you want to go to the prompt, can we use this skill to build something?